Waiting for confirmation, guys. I'm still waiting for one more confirmation so we can see a good dump. Hold on to that trades. Again, waiting for some confirmation first before we enter some setups. Because market's losing some volume here and market can potentially bounce a bit, so again waiting for a confirmation. Waiting for a candle to close. 1 minute. It's still floating on entry. 1 minute for the candle to close. So for now, entering the market is a bit risky. We're still in between the zone of our supply zone and our demand zone. Alright, so we'll hold on to any entries for now. Still waiting for a confirmation before we look for our entries again. So let's just wait for the market to move, and I want to see how it works. Alright, because we still need to respect these levels here before we can look for any more move on the market. Alright, I need to see some wick down respecting this level here. I want to see a good move for the market so we can look for some reversals at least. But the bull market is quite, it's still retesting this level here, so I'm just gonna wait for confirmations before we look for any more entries. Alright, market is trying to break this level here. We are too close for the demand zone on this level. At 54, that would be a good buy zone or a good bounce potentially. But again, market has grabbed this liquidity on this level here, so there's gonna be a lot of breathing room before we can dictate the direction, and a lot of confirmation to see just if market is gonna respect this level or it's gonna plan to break this level within this Asia session. So we'll see and have to wait. I'm still waiting for some volume and checking if there's gonna be momentum on the upside or the downside. Good respect here, so we can look for potential buys now. So waiting for a bit more retracement. Waiting for a bit more retracement on this candle. I wanted to see it go down a bit. So we're gonna be targeting this supply zone. So far, I just need to see our candle movement here for a good continuation. Let's see a good wick down. Alright, this is the fair value gap. Good tap on the fair value gap here. So now I need the candle to go back to 59 so you can see some potential buys. Alright, let's buy. I'm buying right now. Okay, our SL will just be below this bullish candle's wick. Alright, our SL will just be below this bullish candle's wick, the previous candle, which is 3756.8. Okay, so we're still in entry and profits. Small profits still floating. So we want to be targeting, this is just a quick scalps here for now, here, and stop loss would be on this level here. Here we'll be targeting some levels here. Okay. Best stop loss we can find is below this level here. If candle does not continue, 1 minute for this candle to close. We need a good candle close. If not, we always close manually near our entry level. So 1 minute and 20 seconds for this candle to close. Waiting for a bit more volume. So we can move some potential stop loss here because market might aim to still retrace back down. Alright, I'm still waiting for one more confirmation candle to close. "40 seconds for this candle to close. 5-minute candle, waiting for that candle to close. Still floating an entry. I need a good volume for the buy. I need this candle to close a strong bullish candle up here. Instead, it's just floating on entry. Nine seconds. So it closes a bullish candle, but it's not strong enough, the volume. Might find some consolidation, but I want a good push up first for a good continuation there. Because it might just retest this bullish fair value gap. But again, this is the best place for the buys right now. This is the bottom of gold. This is the bottom of gold. But I want to look for sniper entries. I want to look for sniper entries with a good volume. It's floating a bit too much on the entry level, and that's not really what I want to see. Because now it's just planning to retest the fair value gap. So it's planning to retest the fair value gap here. Best SL would be far down here, but we want to look for just respecting this level here. That stop loss would be around 3756. I do not want to hold this trade so much. So I'm expecting to see some, again, retest, retap here. So we can put some SL on 3754 instead. 3754. This is why we always wait for some volume, even if trade is going our direction. I like to look for volume before our entry, since that will dictate a good sniper entry. If market continues to close bearish candle inside this bullish or value gap, I want to look for some manual close. I do not want to hold this trade. I don't plan to hold this trade. If this candle closes a strong bearish candle inside the bearish or value gap, I need to see it close above this level here, above 58. So if it closed on that level, I would be manually closing this on a loss of negative 10 pips to 15 pips, which is really fine. We can recover that anytime, because I need to see a good market volume first before we look for some entries again. $40 for the candle to close. It's trying to retest this demand zone here. But I don't want to see a good if the candle closes strong bearish candle, we will close the trade, guys. We will close this trade. It might look for a... Alright, I'll be closing this trade. I'll be closing this trade. Good tap in the demand zone. Wait for a bit more retracement. I want it close enough to our entry for a potential close. Still waiting, because this candle is too strong. Just retrace a bit and I'll be closing it. I'll be closing it on this level here. Okay, this trade can potentially bounce back up. This trade can potentially bounce back up, but I'm not gonna be holding my trade, because market can look for liquidity. Market can wait and grab some liquidity at the bottom. So I'm taking my loss on that one. Again, trade can still recover back to entry level. Trade can still recover, but I'm not holding. I'm not holding losses, guys. I'm only holding profits. Alright, so we're gonna look for some potential re-entries back on this level here. A good tap on this demand zone. If this candle closes a good bullish candle, I will re-enter some buys. If this candle closes a good bullish candle, I will re-enter some buys. Again, if you want to hold, we have a stop loss. You can wait it there, but I'll be closing my trades. I can recover this on the next one. This is a really good candle here, so I want to clean entries from here. Okay, good tap on this demand zone. This needs to close inside the bullish or value gap for a good continuation, but the previous candle is too strong. With good volume, good confirmation there. because now market can just consolidate here, and I don't want my trade to get stuck, so I have to wait for some volume. Trade can come back, but again, I do not like holding stop losses. I'll wait for a re-entry and I'll be doubling down on it for an easy recovery. I need to wait and look for a new confirmation before we look for another entries with good volume. I was already questioning the trade on 59 level here when there's a bit small profit, but it's really running really low volume. Market can just reverse, so I'll wait for this candle to close. Good tap in the demand zone, good recovery on this. I needed to close above 58. I will re-enter this trade. Then I'll be aiming, if this taps here, aim this level here, the supply zone, and some levels above here. So I'll be probably holding this one. I just need that bearish FVG, fair value gap, to close. So that's it. Now I will be re-entering on some of the buys. So I'm re-entering. I will be holding this level here. Now this is gonna be my stop loss below this level here, and I want to target this level here. So this is gonna be my buy zone. This is a zone. This is not a scalp. This will be my intraday setup. This will be an intraday that I will be leaving this morning. Alright, so that's a buy range would be around 54 to 58, this level here. Aiming for a good stop loss, which is gonna be just below this level here, which is 3751. Would be 3751. TPs as well. So TPs. You guys should be running already in profits. If you double down on this entry, if you double down, you should have good profit range here already. You can secure some of those partials. Because we are in some buy range, so this is gonna be some buy. This is gonna be the buy range here. Market volume still not having the momentum to continue. So maybe we can put some alerts on. Here so we can find some trade setups. 3751. Alright, I sent you the layout on our group. Sent you the layout. So we want to look for a good bounce on this level here. Good retest. Added one more entry from that. Now, all you have to do is have to see some volume on this level here. We need to see a good respect on this level. Price is trying to consolidate on this range right now. Really not good volume on the market, really not good volume for the buys as well, and for the sells, because there are no volume on the market. Waiting for this candle to close. Waiting for this candle to close. I'll be looking for some potential move so far. Because this is a big range move, so this is not applicable for some scalping. This will not be applicable for all scalps. And I don't want to see a liquidity grab from the market here. So either we close this trade, and if you're holding in small entries, you can hold this trade. But if you're holding bigger lots, you do not want to hold this trade. We have wide stop loss on this level, and this is a buy range. Buy range means it's gonna be a huge area on the market. Still waiting for some volume. I want to see some volume, but there's so little volume right now. Market is moving really slow, and it is not good for some buys or sells. Market that is slow is not good for any direction, because we are just gonna get stuck on that level. Because we are looking at the 15 minutes. It's gonna be trying to retest 52 and target some 61s here. Still waiting for a big volume. There's no volume so far. If there's no volume for the buys, it means buyers are not entering the market yet. And there's a reason for that. It means the buyers are not here yet, and they are not ready to set the market price. So that's why I do not like holding low volume trades. I want to see some good volume first for the buys. Even a strong bullish candle will start some momentum there. So I'm currently now on a break even, because I have some buys at 54. Break even from the entry. Loss at my first entry and profit at my very bottom entry. So that's why we like to split our entries for best results, especially in a buy range. So I'm hoping to see this candle close a good bullish candle. If not, then there was gonna be very low volume on this setup. We do not like low volumes. 1 minute 20 seconds. 1 minute for this candle to close. Really slow volume, guys, and that's a demand zone. Having low volume for the buyer from the demand zone is quite concerning, because buyers are not entering the market yet. So probably waiting for some liquidity grab. So I'll be expecting to not hold this trade, especially with bigger lot size used. In 11 seconds, 10 seconds, bad candle close here, and we'll be closing this trade. I would not like to keep holding this level here, as market is reversing and changing candles here. So again, I closed some of my trades setup. No volume here, no volume. This trade is for low entry lot sizes for hold. If you want to hold the trade, you can. Just make sure to have low risk setups. I'll be closing some, but still this trade up is still alive. Still waiting for good volume here to kick in. The setup is still alive. Very weak volume, but still on our buy range. But again, with the low buyers on this setup, just one good move can recover it all. I'm still waiting for that clean volume. Again, we are in a buy range, So I have been layering some buys around this level here. But if market will look for some liquidity grab on the lows, it's gonna be dangerous. Looking at the 15 minutes time frame, we are hitting our demand level here. Tap the 52 zone level to see market potential bounce at this level here, but again the bearish candle on the 15 minutes time frame dictates a lot of sellers are trying to push market back down. So this is gonna be our setup right now. Still waiting for some volume. Again, this trade is not for a big lot size right now. We already did some small big lot sizes from the beginning as mentioned. So we plan to have this trade going for a bit. Trying to hit this level here, but again, this candle momentum on the 15 minutes time frame is quite dangerous, because market can potentially just continue to drop. On that level, and market can just grab some liquidity here before even coming back up again, because there is no volume. If there's no volume for the buyers and a very slow volume for the sellers, this is now a consolidation zone. This is now a consolidation zone. Very slow market volume, guys, and it's already 6:23. not our usual Asia session volume. As mentioned, checking to see, again, market is still very low on volume, especially on our buy side. Slow volume on the market. Just need one strong volume for this move. All we need is just one candle with one strong volume. So it's still here on our entry range, very slow market here. So again, this trade is not for big lot sizes. I want to look for some recovery later on, since market is very slow on volume here. Means market is looking for some liquidity grab, so market can dump below this level here actually. So it's trying to potentially retest this demand, this bullish value gap at 43.44, and I do not want to adjust our lot size, sorry, our stop losses. So this would be the range. This would only be the range for the buys, and stop loss are just below that. Regardless if market continues to come back to this level. So if you guys want to close this trade setup, if you do not wish to risk anymore, you can do so. Alright, because market volume, as mentioned, is not here, and I'm only layering some setups here. But still waiting for again that volume. I just need one good volume for the buys for this to go the opposite direction immediately. Or you guys can just wait for the next setup. You can just look for another opportunity later on. Since target still possible here. The thing is, market can still come back few more pips down before even trying to reach this level here, but this is a guaranteed target level here. But again, market can just come back down here, grab some liquidity, and potentially come back up here. Because there's no volume here. So this is the peak bottom for the buy, and I already closed some of my higher entries because it will not be good holding further entries there, but I did manage to add some few entries here and scalp that level there. But again, market is continuing to drop, and I do not wish to hold any more trades on this level. So this trade is no longer valid, but I'll be expecting some retracement tapping this level here. So let's just wait for a newer setup because I really want to see confirmation. I really don't like the volume this morning. Very slow volume this morning. And we need that volume for a good confirmation too. And that's what we were lacking. So let's just be patient with the market. I want to look for another opportunity, but we do not want to add some revenge trades here. Revenge trading is not the way. So I'll wait for another opportunity, then I will send it to our premium group because I want to recover some of the trades. We did some good final trade yesterday and it took out my profit from there, my final trade. So break even, and I want to see a good recovery later on. Maybe London session, there's going to be volume at London session, and since Asia session has no volume, here very slow volume even in the 5 minutes time frame. Even in the 5 minutes time frame, the only volume it has was this grab here. So there's no more revenge trading. We'll wait for a clean proper setup. I want to see a direction, confirmation, and volume before I enter for another one. Because right now we are in the 15 minutes time frame, because market is slow on the 5 minutes time frame. So we're going to be looking for some wide setups. I want to target this level here, 3778, 3780 would be a good target there, but we need some volume on this ground first, because if it breaks below 48, then that would be the selling pressure. Breaking this bullish value gap here, targeting from 48, targeting some 35, 38, clean 100 pips there if the sellers. And again, this is still the buy zone, but just no volume. This is a demand zone. Demand zone are for the buyers to reverse the market back up, seeing this level here, as you can see here. So there are no scalps as of the moment because there are no volume for those scalps. That's why holding trades would be the idea part here. So good tap on the bullish value gap here. I'm looking for some personal entries for the buys again. Same. Market can again recover the buy side, so I'm still adding some entries on this level. Guys, this is one of my just personal entries here, not really recommended for everyone, but I added some buys on this level. Again, this is a demand zone, and I'm looking at some volume. Market can still retrace by this candle. I have some buy entries on the current market, alright, because I plan to recover this. So I do have multiple buy entries. You can wait for a retracement if you wish to enter the same trade, because I do not recommend 3 trades in a row. I hardly recommend any 3 trades in a row, because I'll move to the next session after there's gonna be no volume. You can wait for retracement if you wish to enter the market. Potential more entries here, just waiting for a good move, but I'm expecting to see some entries later at New York to London session, London to New York session, because that's the best time to see some good volume. So again, I just added some few entries on the bottom here. Alright, but it is not recommended for you guys to enter the same trades, but I was looking for another personal buys here. Again, I'm still confident with the direction, just not confident with the volume. We have the direction, but we do not have the volume. So this trade is something for some hold setup. So that's a good 15 minutes candle close. Good rejection here. Good tap at the bullish value gap. So there are some good buys at this level here, but again, do not recommend entering more trades, but you can at least leave one trade open for the buy. I bought at 3755. This trade is only for the stream, and I'll be layering some buys at 3754 and 53. So this, I will hold some personal entries when it retests this level here. Again, I will not be risking a lot on this zone, because we can look for more sniper entries as our usual setup on London session. We can look for entries later at London session and New York session. So there it is, some recovery for my personal trade setups. 55, we are now in 56 to 57. Again, I do not recommend sending another trades in the group, because we can wait for the next session for a sniper setup. This setup is for hold. I mentioned I'll be targeting this level here at 3760. With a slow market volume, you can only be on risk on this level, right? So later we can just trade later on London session to New York session. I recommend we trade later on to find those sniper entries, so you can find a quick recovery in there. Because right now there's still no volume. Even if this good candle confirmation here, there is no volume for the trade. Alright, there is still no volume for the trade, so we just have to wait for another setups there before looking for any more. So we'll not be sending any more trades for this morning. We'll find some on New York to London session, because we want to see a good volume, guys. We need to see good volume. We know the direction. We have a good direction based on our market bias and based on market structure, but we need to see good volume, and market is not providing the volume here in Asia session. So we have to look later on New York to London session to see how market structure goes, because the previous market structure here is consolidating on this level here, and moving to this part, it will just copy paste the same effect if it's having this type of volume during this time. So any more trades, again I will just send it to our premium group later on. New York to London session, sorry, London to New York session. Alright, so we can find a good recovery and for good trade setups. So let's just wait and find those confirmations so we can find those sniper entries again with good volume again. Again, I mentioned from this morning, this market structure is not a regular market structure. I already felt it from the beginning with the low volume here. Not our usual morning, guys, not our usual morning. So I'll send the group the trades that has been moving currently, and I told you that we just needed one candle, but again the volume is just so late for that. It reaches around already on 57 to 58. I do still have the entries that I mentioned that I bought on 54, 53 and 55. So I still have those entries on the group, sent it already before. I mentioned on live stream, only a live stream trade. Alright, again I'm still targeting the 60 here. Tap the good demand zone, good move here in the 15 minutes time frame. I'm only looking at 15 minutes if there's no volume in the 5 minutes, guys. Just using a different strategy now, since there's no volume in the 5 minutes, securing some on the 15 minutes time frame, and potentially move and find a good setups later on. For sniper entries, this is just good recovery, quick recovery on this trade here. Bought at 53, 54 and 55, taking some profits at 58 and 59 and waiting for that 60 to wait for another one. Again, if you risk with me on the trade I mentioned during our live trade, congratulations. Quick recovery there. We'll find more later on because we are not satisfied yet. Excuse me. Again, we are not satisfied yet. We want to see more movement on the market. Still targeting this level here. So this was setups here, and I want to target this first target on 3760 for potentially going even higher on this level here. But now if you wish to enter, it's riskier to enter, guys. You are now in between the zone, so you do not want to enter in between the zone. It's either you enter at the top for some sells or the bottom for the buys. You do not enter in between. Alright, so this trade is already moving. Again, we will just look for another trade setups later at London to New York session to find good sniper entry, because I wish to do some double downs there as well. Made some quick recovery here as well, but very slow market volume. Just needed a few candles there, but good job on there. So we'll just wait again. London to New York, see you guys there. We'll see if we can do some live streams during London and New York session, so maybe later on we can find some good entries there. Again, already hitting our limit for our stream. Only 7 AM are cut off, but again we'll try to find some live streams later, maybe at London to New York, or we'll just send it to a premium group and share it to our open group. Alright, so that's it for this morning, guys. I want to look for trades later on, good sniper entries, and we can double down from there. Not the usual morning volume, okay, not the usual morning volume. So congratulations on your trades and setups for this quick move here. Overall, again, we'll look for later on. So that's it for this morning. We'll send you some trades later on for good recovery and sniper entries, so stay tuned and get those notifications. I will be waiting for a clean setup. Alright, see you guys tomorrow. Maybe we'll stream later at London session, but we can just send the trade setups and forward it to our free group so they can trade the same. So that's it for this morning, and good morning everyone.